No, we need a bottle what these two have got. They're really sat there. Yeah, what can I tell you? I came out on the 11th of September 1998, and I was literally, I came out of DMRC Headley Court Rehabilitation Hospital. I served in the Black Watch Infantry, and I was just literally pushed out the door. I was on crutches. If anybody's ever tried going across London on crutches on a Friday afternoon with a 100-litre rucksack on your back, it's interesting from St Pancras Station all the way down to Waterloo. Thanks. But I had nothing there. There was no other organisations. There was my family lived in Spain. I had no contact with my father. My sister lived abroad. I literally came out to my partner. At the time, she was at university at Derby, and I had not a lot. I didn't know how to use a computer. I didn't have any qualifications. I came out of school. I went to school at just after my 16th birthday. I joined the forces. So there was not a lot going on. A few years went on, and when I came out of the forces in 2000, the big black bear got me, as I call it. I'd been suppressing with alcohol. I'd been trying to steer away from my own plight, and unfortunately I went downhill. That's when I entered into the NHS PTSD side, hypnotherapy, everything to try and come back to normality. I'd gone to do a degree. I did a degree in sport and venture management. You actually wouldn't believe it, but you know, that's all bought and paid for. That's the one. Pushing for the cushion. Getting back 2007, and I had another relapse. At that time, I was volunteering for the psychosis service for young people in Northern East Riding for Cypher, which I was doing service reviews and bits and pieces for those guys. Just purely of the passion of wanting to help. I was doing first aid organisation. I was a youth worker for St John at the time in Beverley with my partner Alison, and I just wanted, I had this inner passion to just wanting to help and help and help and help. And it got to 2012, and my uncle used to race. He used to rally, and he took me on a circuit, and he says, "Come on, boy, let's see what you've got." And, you know, you do the usual. Look at me, I'm skidding around the track and all this kind of stuff. And he turned around and dunked me on the helmet and went, "Have you finished beeping around?" And next thing you know, we were learning how to drive properly on a very wet track. Well, I got the bug of driving on a track. I enjoyed this because it allowed me to just focus. My inner person decided I had something to focus on apart from having all these things whizzing around in my head. And 2012, I approached a very big organisation down in London that makes race engines and said, "Can I have some sponsorship? I'm thinking of doing some racing." And he said, "How about I give you an engine?" And unfortunately, Alison screamed, and I was just in pieces. And that's when the ball started rolling. Our first race, after sitting there on the end of the car and going, "How the hell did I get to this position of racing at Brands Hatch?" I got third place. I didn't actually know I got it, but I got third place. And I was like, "People help me. What can I do in return? Let's help people. We've got something here. We've got a model, if you like, a train. It's empty. Let's get people involved." Right, so I started contacting organisations and saying, "I don't want to make you any money. I'm not interested in selling you bits and pieces. Send me people down. I'll take them on board, I'll take them into the team, and we'll do something." So we spent 2012 very successfully. We went through quite a few people. I'd gone through from teaching a young chap that had his left leg taken away by an IED. He wanted to learn to drive on a circuit, and I was racing that day. I managed to go into break one car and nearly broke another one, and his wife came up to me and goes, "John, you'll take him out on the circuit, won't you?" Yeah, not a problem. What car's he got? He had an Evo 10, didn't he? No, that was, this guy had stood on a landmine, and he had no fear, and he had no talent. He was going to a right-hand bend at 110 miles an hour, and he was on the right-hand side of the circuit. That was just loot. It was...
We can do that car, can't we, on Cloud Solly? Honestly, we've done that.
Smith and Nephew flyover. Yeah, that's the one, yeah. But it was great to watch this guy. All of a sudden, he was a very angry, charged person. And when I was learning something new, you could see it coming together with him. Because I managed to get him to focus and pass something on to him that he could cling on to. This started the rehabilitation process of rebuilding his life. So this was like a catalyst. This was like, this is actually working, this is brilliant, this is fantastic. And we've had another guy that found us, young Jay. He stood on a landmine, it never went off. He was meant to be in a lead vehicle, and unfortunately that got turned into pink mist. And he had to call it up as top gunner. And he found us, he worked alongside us, and he's now been back operational again, which is fantastic. Which it shows that sometimes money doesn't help. And that when I came out of the forces, the war pension turned around and went, there you go, there's £3.5 grand. At the age of 18, £3.5 grand when you've missed out on really exciting years of your life, it's up against the wall. You spend it on town. You don't realise, because you don't have that starting point in life, you don't know where you're going. And for charities such as what Paul's doing, the work that he's doing, that roof over your head gives you that security. Even when you don't want to get out of bed during the day, you don't want to move to the sofa, you're constantly having daymares. Everybody knows what a nightmare is, don't they? Yeah? Shake, wop, wop, 1, 2. A daymare is realistic. You could be looking and you will just have, people call it flashbacks, it's so real. It's so tangibly real that you can't step away from it, you can't step outside of it. And when you're in a job, I was a youth worker for many years for local authority. Unfortunately, in 2014, I had a relapse, I had a major crash. Everybody knows Blackadder, don't they? Flobble. If I said that, underpants on your head, crayons on up your nose. Yeah, that was me. Yeah, that was me. I was scraping me off the floor. And you know, it takes a lot of effort to fall down from where you are, because we've all got to where we are in life, where we are, and we're still rising, we're still learning, we're still improving ourselves. For the ones that haven't got some form of mental health issue or physical issue, but for a person that has fallen with a mental health issue such as PTSD, falling, it's a long way down, but by hell, it's a hell of a long way back up again, and it's a hell of a long way to try and get up there. For all the will of the world, I just want to say one last thing. So, well, I want to ask a few questions as well. So, if you've got people that don't know what it's about, just want two or three questions if we've got time. If you ask me a question, I don't mind. But if you can imagine, it's a beautiful day. Absolutely sun shining, blue skies, fantastic. Now next time you go stand at Bridlington seafront and it's pitch black, imagine you can't hear any sound, there's no lights behind you, and all you all do is looking at the blackness in front of you. That's what people with PTSD suffer from. They need a pinprick of light, and I mean a very tiny pinprick of light, to focus on, to draw them from that. That's what help these people need. Anybody got any questions? you want to ask me. Anything blase about PTSD that you don't quite understand, anything personal you want to ask me, don't worry. If I wobble, it'll be fine. I can recover. I've got a weekend. I've got plenty of Jack Daniels at home. No? I've scared you all, haven't I?
Yeah, everyone's looking scared there. If you've got any questions, obviously he's going to be sat over there. Feel free to go and ask him. You are an absolute inspiration, and the work that you do, obviously helping others, is absolutely amazing. If I don't know if you realise, but the thing that obviously like Claire's got in common, Jonathan's got in common, is that it's that something to focus on. That little bit to change their mind, to change the way they view life as a whole. And that's what these guys are doing. Claire did it with work. He's going to obviously inspiring others, and so on and so forth. So thank you very much for your time, and thanks for the words that you said. You're an absolute inspiration.
Brilliant. I just want to also say that during the auction, our race team, AJ Racing, have put forward a passenger lap to spend a day with the team and come out in the race car with myself driving. So I am the nut behind the wheel. I am perfectly safe, don't worry. Yeah, I tell lots of people out before. And I do believe the last one made quite a bit of money, so I want this next one to really push the way through. So thanks.
Yeah.
Give a round of applause, everybody.
Thank you very much.